New tonight, the state of Oklahoma executed death row inmate Wendell Grissom for the brutal and random murder of a Watonga woman. It's the first state execution of the year here in 2025. Fox 23 in-depth anchor Rick Marinon was the state's media witness and reports from death row in McAllister on Grissom's last words and the surviving victim's reaction.
In many ways, this was just a routine execution. In fact, the state prison director says this was probably one of the most flawless executions to take place in a long time. However, in one way, it may have broken a record. The number of people, including the surviving victims of the crime, all eager to see this carried out once and for all. It was a day they thought would never come, but it's also a day they wish they never were involved with in the first place.
She was so young. And the last words that she spoke was, "Please don't shoot me." And Grissom didn't care and shot her while she was holding a 6-week-old baby. So for that, he deserved no mercy.
It was 20 years ago, a day Drew Kopp and her 2 children still remember and are grateful to still be alive after.
I had 8 bullet holes in my body, and there's still bullets in me.
Drew's friend, Amber Matthews, was visiting her and her kids at their Watonga home when Wendell Grissom and Jesse Floyd Johns randomly targeted Kopp's house in the middle of the night looking to rob it for money.
This is Gracie, and that's who Amber was holding, and this is Riley, and she was in the crib.
The home invasion turned deadly. Matthews was shot twice in the head while holding one of Kopp's then baby daughters, trying to shield the child from the violence.
I don't think justice is ever fully served because Amber's not ever going to be here again.
Kopp and her now 2 grown daughters watched with Matthews' family and friends as Grissom admitted he was high and drunk, but said it was no excuse for his behavior.
I feel like it was sincere, but it's too late. It took him a total of 13 minutes to die, and it took him a total of 2 minutes to kill my best friend.
At times, he looked up towards the victim witness windows, saying things like, "I regret so much the hatred I put in your heart towards me," and pleaded for the victims to forgive him, saying it was the only way they would truly have peace and find God in the tragedy. A minister prayed and constantly read scriptures at the feet of Grissom from the start of the execution until he was declared dead at 10:13 a.m.
He has been telling our staff for a while now he was ready to do this today.
Matthew's stepsister Kathy Johnson says she was not moved by any of Grissom's pleas for forgiveness.
I didn't care what he had to say. I forgave his mother and father mercy because they can't control his actions. But as far as him wanting mercy, he doesn't deserve it.
But even if they didn't find peace, it was outside the prison walls where at least they found release, both with balloons and the feeling that the man who hurt them was now gone forever.
It's pretty surreal. I mean, I'm 43 and I never thought that I would be a victim of a crime and lose a best friend and watch a execution.
While many of his remarks were directed at the victims begging for forgiveness, there were moments when Grissom would look around the room and gave his friends and family members thumbs up, saying he was at peace and it was going to be okay. At the State Pen in McAllister, covering news that matters, I'm Rick Marinon, Fox 23 News.
Grissom did not make any last-minute pleas for the courts to intervene. In an interview earlier this week with Newsweek magazine, he said he didn't want to live the rest of his life behind bars anyways. However, his attorneys pushed for clemency, saying he was a changed man who found God in prison. The next death row inmate up for execution is a man who is linked to a Tulsa kidnapping that ended in a murder in Owasso. John Hansen was transferred back into custody of the state of Oklahoma just a few weeks ago. Hansen was set to be executed a few years ago, but the Biden administration refused to hand him back over to our state, saying it didn't believe in the death penalty and would not send someone to their death. Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond contacted new U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi once she was confirmed, who then handed Hansen over for execution.
But I'm confident that his clemency request will be denied and he will be executed sometime in May.
Have you spoken to the family about the balls rolling?
Yes, we have. I have, and my victims advocate staff has.
Are they relieved?
I think it's been so long, there's temerity and concern, but I have assured them that we will deliver.
Hansen and an accomplice carjacked and kidnapped 77-year-old Mary Bowles from Woodland Hills Mall back in 1999. She was then shot and killed at an isolated dirt pit near Owasso. Drummond says he's committed to seeing Hansen die before the end of this year. A final clemency hearing is still pending for Hansen.